Hey guys, so today we are going to be discussing American Horror Story Cult Episode 2. Sorry it is a day delayed. Don't kill me, but you kind of already did in the comments of the last video. I appreciate your guys' passion, but you know, it's a little brutal, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't read all of them, to be honest, because, you know, I do hear you guys. Like, obviously there's something going on when I get a lot of negative comments on a video, so I will take the time and look at them eventually and like read them. I just, you know, hopefully some of them are respectful of my opinion. It makes me scared to do more American Horror Story cult videos, not gonna lie. Some of you claimed that, you know, if I'm that upset or offended by something, why would I even watch it? It's because I enjoy discussing it with you guys and hearing your opinions. And I get requested, when American Horror Story is airing on TV, I get requested every single day to share my thoughts on the episodes. So that's why I make it a series, at least this time. So I'm not intentionally watching it just to shit on it, as someone said. I promise I'm not. And I'm not trying to attack American Horror Story, and I hate that I'm making this disclaimer. But hopefully you guys know where I'm coming from as a horror lover, and, you know, I'm just sharing my opinions. I'm not trying to find things wrong. I like American Horror Story, okay? I am disappointed that the, you know, seasons haven't been as good as the first 2 or 3, but these are my opinions. So just bear that in mind when you watch my channel, that I will be sharing my thoughts on these things. So let's just jump into episode 2. This is one of those episodes where there isn't a ton that happens. It's not very action-packed until the end, pretty much. I mean, there's like events going on, but it's not a horror-based episode, really. And there's nothing wrong with that. We need these kind of building episodes to get a better understanding of the characters and whatnot. So I, you know, wasn't too disappointed. I was disappointed because I kind of wanted to have like an exciting episode. But obviously we had the first episode, and then, you know, the second one's kind of building, so I get it. With that being said, I'm not a fan of all the politics. Like, it's so hard for me to not be opinionated about the politics that they're representing and doing in the episodes, because I don't really want to talk about politics. I don't want to talk about Trump or Hillary. Like, that, I'm not here on this channel. I don't talk about politics on this channel, so, but it's making it very difficult to not comment on it, honestly, because it's just so prevalent in the episodes, in my opinion. So I wish it was less political and more horror. There aren't a lot of elements, at least in this episode especially, that are scary to me. Home invasions, not scary. Clowns, not scary. So I'm hoping that there's something coming that's like a little different. I'm hoping that they add some more horror elements. I don't know if anyone else is feeling it as well, but I feel like we're missing something here, or missing a lot of horror elements. I do kind of like the psychology that's going on in the show, because it's really sneaky, and I've caught a couple moments where it's like, oh, he's definitely in on it. For example, the neighbors. We are introduced to the neighbors that have moved in after the Changs were murdered next door to Allie and Ivy, right? So the neighbors move in. They're a little sketch. They have these barrels in their garage. They're very odd, eccentric people, if you will. So I kind of like their storyline because they're so strange to me, like just their personalities, their interests, things like that. They are actually the couple that filmed Kai's attack in the end of last episode, beginning of this one. So it will be interesting to see how they go along, but here's my theory. I think that they are in on something to do with Allie and the clowns, because if you caught the moment where there was like, the power went out and the neighbor guy calls up Allie and says, you know, I've heard about this. This could be a nuclear war. My cat just came in here. You want to say hi? Still in the cone. It could be the Russians or, you know, whatever. And that plants a seed in her mind. And then the next phone call she's on, she's telling Ivy, it could be the Russians. The Russians are attacking. And she sounds like, you know, something's wrong. I don't like using the word crazy, so I'm not going to use the word crazy, but that would be the place where I would use it in a general sense, because she obviously is, okay, Pepe, she's sounding ridiculous, right? It's just a power outage, and the neighbor planted this seed that it could be something like a war or we're being attacked. And so when she tells Ivy that, it strengthens Ivy's belief that she is kind of losing her mind. So there's subtle things like that that I catch that I really like, because there's small things but it's really adding to the psychology of the show, which I enjoy. So this wasn't really a scare-based episode, it was definitely more plot-based, but of course I have to talk about the ending scene, right? So I will spoil it if you haven't watched the episode yet. I'm going to talk about the ending, so it will be a spoiler. But basically, during the power outage, Pedro, which is the sous chef or one of the chefs things over at her restaurant, comes over to help, you know, give her candles, blankets, and things like that. And because she's on this paranoia like kick right now, she thinks that they're under attack. She grabs her gun, which she had gotten from the neighbor guy. And of course she's so riled up and so freaked out that when he knocks on the door, she shoots him. And that's where the episode ends. And so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out and the politics behind it, because you could definitely see the politics in Pedro being a suspect for the sous chef that was murdered in their meat locker at the restaurant. And then obviously Kai had framed, I guess, kind of those Mexican immigrants who he threw the pea-filled condom at to, you know, entice them to beat him up. And therefore he could paint them as horrible creatures and look at these people, look how bad they are, which definitely takes place nowadays on both sides. They're trying, okay, I'm gonna get a little political, they definitely try to make the other side look as bad as possible, right? The extremes anyway. And so they're showing good examples of how that is in this situation, and also cops. And I'm not saying all cops, but you know, the cop mentality, and also the, you know, the race idea with Pedro being, he's an American, but because he is Hispanic, of Hispanic descent, they're kind of pointing the finger at him because he had a little moment with the guy that was murdered. And, you know, kind of, I think race plays an issue in that storyline as well. But now that Pedro is, I don't know if he's gonna die, but now that she shot him, that probably doesn't look too good either. So we're gonna see how that plays out. And it's really interesting to watch her kind of spiral a little bit, and like how even just the slight comments will set off her phobias, and she's starting to get a little bit of agoraphobia, which is interesting. And it's just so subtle, like her subtle, just even 2 episodes in, you can start to see her subtle unwinding. And I think that is creepy in itself, because that is definitely real and it happens to a lot of people. So from a mental health perspective, I think they're showing an accurate portrayal of how quickly things can escalate when it comes to mental illness, and also how subtle it can be as well. So those are my thoughts on episode 2. As a whole, it's okay. I'm hoping that they bring in some more scare elements. If I look at it as a non-horror show, I like it a lot more. But we shall see. Again, I don't like the politics, but you know, I have to accept it. That's where we're at. That's what we have to deal with in the episodes. So because so many of you were had a negative reaction to my first episode review, please let me know if you want me to continue these, because a lot of people, you know, said, well, if you don't like the show that much, why are you watching it? So I just want to know if you want me to continue these, because if it's something that isn't benefiting any of us, then I won't do it. You know, so I just want to hear your feedback in a polite way, please, just respectful. And, you know, I'll listen to your opinions down below. And let me know what you thought about episode 2 of American Horror Story this week. So, yeah. With all that being said, I hope you enjoyed, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.